Okay, so welcome everybody to the seventh webinar on pre-modern Islamic manuscript that we are organizing at the Institute of Iranian Studies since September 21st. And my name is Bruno De Nicola. I am the PI of the project Nomads Manuscripts Landscape, working on pre-modern manuscripts, and we're trying to investigate from those manuscripts different aspects of cultural history of Iran and Central Asia in the pre-modern period. Today, I don't have too much work because we have a guest moderator, Dr. Florian Schwarz, who is the director of the Institute of Iranian Studies at the Austrian Academy of Sciences, who will be introducing our speaker in a minute. But before that, I would like to remind you a little bit about the structure of the webinar. So we're going to have 40 to 45 minutes lecture by our guest speaker, and then that will be followed by a period of questions and answers that will not be recorded. You can ask your questions by clicking on the Q&A button at the Zoom that you have below. Also, you can post your questions in the chat, or you can just raise your hand and ask to be intervened, and then I can let you in and you can formulate your question directly to the speaker. So I hope that is clear. So without any further ado, Florian, the floor is yours, and thank you all for participating in this.
Thank you, Bruno. Good afternoon here from Vienna. Good morning in Bloomington, and good anytime in around the world. It's a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Akram Habibullah, who gives today's lecture in this webinar series, and this is an opportunity for me to thank also the Nomads Manuscripts Landscape team, Bruno De Nicola, Adil Jarrah, Tanvir Ahmad, in putting together this exciting lecture and webinar series. Dr. Habibullah is the librarian for Middle Eastern, Central Eurasian, and Islamic Studies at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. He studied Arabic studies, received his, in Uzbekistan, received his PhD there from the Academy of Sciences of Uzbekistan, and then went on to study library sciences, library and information sciences at Rutgers University, New Jersey. His previous career stations included the Biruni Institute for Oriental Studies in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. He was a Fulbright visiting scholar at the University of Pennsylvania, then a member of the Institute for Advanced Study, Princeton, and from 2004 to 2007, Middle East cataloger at the University of Chicago Library. Dr. Habibullah has published on a variety of subjects, including library sciences, and they are very wide range, and bibliography. He has published on medieval intellectual history and notably on manuscripts. In his talk today, Dr. Habibullah presents and discusses the famous library that conventionally goes by the name of the Bukharan scholar Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā, who died approximately 1420. But it's a library that actually spans, or material that spans a much longer history of learning from pre-Mongol to Mongol Central Asia. And Dr. Habibullah has been carrying out research on this topic over several years in collaboration also with Shahwasi Ziyadov and Asherbek Muminov. So without further ado, I give the word to Dr. Habibullah. It's a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. And thank you, Florian, for the introduction. And I also would like to thank the members of the Institute of Iranian Studies for organizing this event and inviting me. It's my great pleasure. I also would like to say happy Ramadan, or Ramadan Mubarak for those who is fasting. So let me now to share my PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Bukhara, a major cultural and intellectual center of the medieval Islamic world, was renowned for its libraries. As evidenced in historical sources, the libraries and the collections of books were in existence in Bukhara as early as 10th century. For example, Avicenna, Abu Ali Bisira, described in his autobiography, a royal library of Samanid Emir Nuh ibn Mansur. He says, I asked Emir to permit me to go into their library to get to know it and to read its books. He gave me permission and I was admitted to a building which had many rooms. In each room, there were chests of books piled on top of other. In one of the rooms were books on the Arabic language and poetry, in another on jurisprudence, and likewise in each room were books on a single science. So I looked through the catalog of books by ancients and asked for whichever one I needed. I saw books whose names had not reached very many people and which I had not seen before that time, nor I have seen since. I used Coleman's translation, and now, Amma Ba'd. My presentation today is devoted to the library or manuscript collection that has not survived intact, and its contents are now scattered and divided among several institutions and various countries. The library I'm going to talk about is associated with the name of Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā. The full name of Khwāja Pārsā, after whom we name the collection of manuscripts, or we name the library, is Muhammad ibn Mahmud Shamsuddin al-Hafizi al-Bukhari, and his nickname was Pārsā, which means pious. He was born in the mid of 14th century in the famous family of Ḥanafī faqīhs in Bukhara. The most honored member of the family, Hafiz al-Din al-Kabir, was an important Islamic scholar of Bukhara and was regarded by later generations as the last mujtahid. His descendant, Muhammad Pārsā, was also a scholar, theologian, commentator of Qur'ān, mufassir, or Ḥanafī jurist, faqīh, and a traditionalist, muḥaddith. He, as a disciple of Bahā'u'd-Din-Naqšband, has played a major role in the spread of Khwājagānī-Naqšbandī, Sufi order in Transoxiana. He died in Medina during his second pilgrimage to Mecca and has left a number of works on theology and Sufism. He was also a bibliophile or collector of manuscripts. His later descendants also contributed to the growth of his collection, and Waqf library existed until mid of the 19th century. Also, several scholarly articles have already been written about the library. Many questions on its history remain unanswered. Several years ago, we began cataloging project Pārsā's library in collaboration with my colleagues, as already mentioned by Florian, Asher Bukminov from Kazakhstan, now he's in Turkey, and Shawasl Ziyadov, director of the Imam Bukhari Center in Uzbekistan, in Samarkand now. So we started cataloging the collection, and the project has been supported partly by a research grant from the Islamic Manuscript Association, TIMA. In total, 169 manuscript volumes which belong to Pārsā's library have been found so far. In Uzbekistan, 126 volumes in 5 different institutions. You see the Beruni Institute, National Library of Uzbekistan, Al-Miras Foundation, and the Information Resource Center in Bukhara, and the private library of Ziyadov in Tashkent. In Russia, also 26 volumes in 5 institutions. In St. Petersburg, Institute Oriental Manuscripts, in Kazan, Nikolai Lobachevsky Library, Scientific Library, Russian Library, etc. In Kazakhstan, 2 volumes in private collection. Also in Tajikistan, as you see, 6 volumes. In Georgia, 1 volume. In France, 7 volumes. In Pakistan, 1 volume. Okay, how did we identify these manuscripts? The manuscripts formerly in Khwāja Pārsā's library can be identified by a special almond-shaped waqf seal. There are mainly 2 variations of the seal. The first with the inscription as Kutub Waqf Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā, or Waqf as Kutub Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā, how you read it. And it is dated 1255. And another inscription says Waqf Khwāja Pārsā ibn Mahmud al-Bukhari, and it has 5 different dates. It's found in 5 different dates. In addition to these waqf seals, there are different waqf notes in the pages of manuscripts one can find, and mostly written 2 types of inscriptions we see, and it starts with as Jumla Kutub Asti Waqf, so from the books of Waqf, and it says at the end, أقر بذلك وشهد به العبد محمد بن حافظ البخاري وكتب بإذنه. This is mixed Persian and Arabic, so you see, so it was witnessed by Muhammad al-Hafiz al-Bukhari, and the waqf note was written by his permission. Another type of notes we can find in the manuscript pages is also starts with as Jumla. We will come back to these notes later, but just at the beginning I'm giving brief information. It also starts as Jumla Kutub Astkidar, so, but it says وأقر بذلك عبد الضيف أبو منصور محمد بن محمد الحافظي البخاري وهذا خطه. So he wrote with own hands and own handwriting of Muhammad Hafiz al-Bukhari, Abu Nasr Muhammad. So first one was written by the permission of Hafiz al-Bukhari, but this seems his son or grandson. Okay. Some of our findings demonstrate that the library we name it after Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā, belonged to members of the Al-Burhan family. Al-Burhan family, I would like to note that the Al-Burhan family was a wealthy and powerful family of religious scholars who functioned as sadrs, religious leaders in Bukhara throughout the 12th century. Here, flyleaf note from the manuscript 305 from Biruni Institute. وقف هذا الكتاب but في خزانة الكتب الميمونة المباركة المولوية الصدرية الإمامية الأجلية البرهانية الحسامية الشاهدية السعدية. These epithets refers to the family members, Al-Burhan family members. It says, so As-Sadr al-Imam al-Mawlawi, Sadri, Imami, Imam al-Ajal, Burhanuddin Abdul Aziz ibn Umar ibn Maza al-Bukhari. and Sadr Shahid, his son Hussam ad-Din, his descendant, probably. We don't know if it's son or grandson. And As-Sadr Sa'id Taj ad-Din. Based on this note, we can assume that this library, Khizanat al-Kutub, was founded in the 12th century by Burhan ad-Din Abdul Aziz ibn Umar ibn Maza and belonged to his family members. Okay, the information about the Al-Burhan library or Burhan family's library is corroborated by the fact that in 597 Hijri, 1200 Miladi, Mahmud al-Faryabi compiled his book Khalisatul Haqa'iq, and he says, for the library of person like titled Burhan al-Malla wad-Din. As it's known, Burhan al-Malla wad-Din is one of the hereditary titles of the Al-Burhan family. Sorry. Another piece of corroborating evidence is found in the Lubab al-Albab by Muhammad Awfi, a 13th century Persian author. The importance of his information lies in fact that Awfi personally knew a number of members of the Burhan family. A note by McChesney, Awfi knew the great-grandson and the great-grandson of Abdulaziz ibn Umar ibn Maza. Awfi wrote in his Lubab al-Albab, وبنده در کتابخانه سریپول بازارچه بخارا دیوان او دیده است و در مطالعه آورده. He wrote, I have seen Diwan, Bahramgur's Diwan in the library, Kitabkhane Saripuli Bazarchi Bukhara, and read it. Thanks to Awfi, we are now able to read the very strange writing here in the line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Says, بعد أن أرى الله مراقدهم بسرپول بازارچه بخارا خزینة العلم والتقوى. So thanks to Awfi now, this also shows that when library was under control of Al-Burhan, under control of Burhan family members, it is situated in Bridgehead of Bazarche, Bukhara. Bazarche is place name in Bukhara region. Okay. By the end of 13th century, the library, today we say Muhammad Pārsā's library, actually belonged to his ancestors, Muhammad Pārsā's ancestor, Hafiz al-Din al-Kabir al-Bukhari, who died in 693. Several flyleaf notes show that he was a principal donor at the beginning, principal donor of books. Then he founded a founder of it. For example, here it says, وقف فتصدق هذا الكتاب وهي إحياء علوم الدين الأب علي بن محمد بن محمود الغجدواني. And he says he وقف or donated this book خزانة الكتب المنسوبة إلى أستاذ الدنيا والعلامة والورى مولانا حافظ الملة والدين محمد بن محمد ناصر البخاري. So خزانة الكتب المنسوبة, treasure of books belonging to that belongs to Muhammad bin Nasr al-Hafiz al-Bukhari. So he wrote his book or donated his book to the library of the Hafiz al-Bukhari. And there are another notes we already have seen that the Hafiz al-Bukhari witnessed it, and the Waqf notes was written by his permission. كتب بإذنه دام بقاؤه at the end of the text. So again, we came here, and here we see that در کتابخانه‌های دارالفقرا کی کوی دهقان است. So when a library was under control of Burhan family members, it was in the Saripuli Bazarche, Bukhara. Now it moved to Koyi Dehqan, which is part of the Bukhara also. So probably it changed its location. We assume it changed its location. So it's according to some other sources, Koyi Dehqan was part of Mullah Pairawi quarter in Bukhara, and Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā's library was located there, was situated there, located there. It seems that control over the library in 15th century passed to Abu Nasr Pārsā, who died 865, son and spiritual heir of Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā. We don't know exactly if it took a control of the library or just wrote Waqf notes, recorded Waqf notes. It says here, so the book is from Khwāja Pārsā library, and witnessed is أقر بذلك Abu Nasr Muhammad bin Muhammad وهذا خطه, and this is his own writing. So but we don't know exactly if he took control of the library or just recorded the book that it was waqf of the Khwāja Pārsā's library. So anyway, we see this Hazrat Khatti and several notes, in several volumes we have seen that such a kind of note. Now we can conclude that the library at the beginning, when it was under Ala Burhan family, as I already mentioned, was in Saripuli Bazarcha village near Bukhara, and location of the library changed to Koyi Dehqan here when it became under control of Hafiz al-Din al-Kabir and his descendants. According to Sukhari, a Russian scholar, Koyi Dehqan was part of the Mullah Pairawi quarter in Bukhara, as already mentioned. Now let us talk a little bit about the collection development, or how a library developed and dispersed it. The collection of Pārsā's library mostly grow thanks to donations. وقف هذا الكتاب فلان فلان فلان. We see the notes that it was books donated to the library. Moreover, one can find interesting notes on fly leaves. For example, some manuscripts bear the note that the book was taken from Amir in lieu of revenue. Let us see the inkitab را از حضرت امیر در بدل غله قریه خواجه پارسای خودفار بها کردن گرفته شد. So it means the book was received from the Amir in lieu of revenue from Khwāja Pārsā's village Khudfar. Khutfar was at that time is a region, small region in Bukhara, and Waqf belonged to Waqf. These notes indicate that the crop yield or other type of income, because ghalla means grain also. So from Waqf property was used to support and enhance the library. Another interesting note found in one of the manuscripts says, از کتب کتابخانه فتح‌آباد است لا زالت مکنوف بالکنف الالهی المغرور عاریت است در کتابخانه دار الفقرا که در کوی خان است در شهر بخارا اقرب. It is interesting. It says that the book was borrowed from the Fathabad library to the Fuqara, to the Kuwait Khan, Hafiz al-Bukhari's library, and it says أقر بذلك وشهد به العبد المحمد حافظ البخاري كتب بإذنه, and written by his permission. So it's strange. Book was borrowed from the library, from another library, but we don't know exactly it was for permanent use or temporary. From the Waqf note, it seems it was borrowed, but for permanent use. And how it was borrowed, we don't know anything about it. But another interesting statement is found in copy of Ibn al-Arabi's Futuhat al-Makkiyya. It's manuscript number 3136 at Berlin Institute for Oriental Studies in Tashkent. It also says, but it is different here. از جمله کتب است که از کتابخانه مولانا امیر بزرگ خوجندی رفعه الله شرفه عاریت گرفته شده است. So the book was borrowed from library of Amir Buzruk Khojandi, while Musta'ir, and who is loaner, borrower, Muhammad Hafiz al-Bukhari, Kutub Biznihi, and donor of, founder of the library, borrowed from other library here, but it seems it's for permanent use because it's already signed to Waqf and it's donated as given to the Waqf. So, but it says Ariyat is borrowing, borrowing for temporary use. It's strange here, strange note. So these notes demonstrates that books were not only donated or purchased from the revenues, but also borrowed from other libraries. It's possible that the library was destroyed and manuscripts plundered and dispersed following the Russian occupation of Transoxiana or Central Asia, mainly Bukhara. Our assumption is based on modern stamps found in on some manuscripts, which demonstrate that some of them were transferred to the Central Library of Public Education Department. Sorry. As Bukhara Soviet Socialist Republic, the Central Library of the Public Education Department of, you see the Centralna Biblioteca, to the modern libraries, they were transferred. And some of them were taken to other places. And some of them even Samarkand, Учебно государственный научно-исследовательский институт. So this is about the disbursement. Okay, now let me say a few words about the content of the catalog. I already mentioned we created a catalog with my colleagues Asharbat Muminov and Shawas Ziyadov, and submitted it for publication to the Iranian Research Center in France, and we hope it will be published very soon under the series under the series Catalogon. The catalog we created includes descriptions of 156 volumes and 211 works of manuscripts that formerly belonged to Khwāja Muḥammad Pārsā's library. After submitting our catalog for publication, we have discovered seven more volumes, one from Iranian Institute, one from Altan Miras Foundation in Tashkent, one from Russian National Library, one from BNP National Library, France, and two in private collection in Almaty. So we decided that the information about these later found manuscripts will be included at the end of our catalog as an appendix. Of course, we don't know what portion of the former library is included in our catalog. We also have no knowledge of what portion of the collection is lost or not discovered yet. 96 volumes out of 156 described in our catalog have copy dates. They cover a period ranging from 9th to 19th century. Earliest dated manuscript is Gharib al-Hadith by Ubaydullah bin Qasim al-Sallam, who died in 233 Hijri, 827 Miladi. Is copied in Rabi al-Thani 344 in Miladi, July, August 955. And the latest dated manuscript is Persian text, Sharh Bistibab, Dar Taqwib by Muzaffar bin Muhammad bin Qasim al-Gunabadi, who was active in 1650s, is copied in Safar 1243, August 8, in Miladi, August 1827. 9 volumes of manuscripts have multiple copy dates. So multiple copy dates because of in volume 1 treatise one date, another treatise another date, maybe that's why multiple dates. And 24 volumes out of 96 dated manuscripts are produced after the death of Muhammad Pārsā. Apparently, they were added by his descendants. Most works in the collection are in Arabic. Only 20 out of 211 works are in Persian. And there are few works in 2 languages, Arabic and Persian, mixed. Surprisingly, there is no single work in Turkic. And the collection covers all traditional Islamic disciplines, such as hadith, tafsir, fiqh, as well as grammar, literature, history, astronomy, and mathematics. The most substantial part of the collection described in our catalog consists of works on Islamic law, notably on Ḥanafī fiqh. One of the early works of the school of the Ḥanafī school is Al-Mabsūt by Sarakhsi, who was active in 11th century. Is represented by 3 copies, all in Tashkent. There are 2 copies of most influential work of Hidayah fi Sharh al-Bidayah by Al-Marghanani, one in Tashkent, one in France. There are also some popular commentaries on Al-Hidayah, such as Fath al-Qadir by Ibn al-Hammam and Al-Ahya fi Sharh al-Hidayah by Akmal al-Din al-Babarti. Among the collections of fatwas are 4 copies, 3 in Tashkent and 1 in Bukhara, of Al-Fatawa at-Tatarkhaniya by Alim bin Ala. There are several Hanafi works on usul, including 2 copies of famous Kanz al-Usul by Ali bin Muhammad bin al-Bazdawi. Ali bin Muhammad al-Bazdawi. Another large thematic unit of manuscripts in the collection is Quranic sciences, containing 33 works. It's worth of mentioning that there are 3 copies of Al-Zamakhshari's commentary entitled Al-Kashaf, 2 in St. Petersburg, Russia, and 1 in Paris. Works on Quran recitation are represented by Al-Shatibi, Hafz al-Amani, 1 in National Library of Uzbekistan, and another work on Quran recitation by Usman ad-Dani, who died in 444 Hijri, 1053 Miladi, and his work called At-Taysir fal-Qira'at, and it's in private collection of Ziyadov. Philology, which includes grammar, lexicography, prose, and poetry, is one of the largest disciplines. 34 works there is 34 works in the collection. There are 3 copies of the famous Maqamat al-Hariri, one in Tashkent, 1 in St. Petersburg, and 1 in Paris. 3 copies, yeah. Among the valuable works in this group should be mentioned Al-Maydani's well-known collection of Arabic proverbs, Majma' al-Amsal, dated 623, 1230 Miladi. Philosophy and Sufism is another large unit which contains 27 works in our catalog. Some valuable titles in this group are Abu Zayd al-Dabusi, who died in 430 Hijri, 1039 Miladi, Al-Amad al-Aqsa, 1 in Tashkent, 1 in St. Petersburg, and Al-Kalabadi's Kitab al-Ta'arruf, and Fakhruddin Razi's Mabahis al-Mashriqiyya, 1 in Tashkent, 1 in St. Petersburg, and Ibn al-Arabi's Futuhat al-Makkiyya, already mentioned, in Tashkent, and several works of al-Ghazali, including 3 copies of Ihya Ulumuddin. Other subjects are Hadith, 15 works, astronomy, astrology, 10 works, history, mathematics, and medicine, pharmacology. Mathematics, 13 works, and medicine and pharmacology, 4 works. This is the content of the catalog, and we don't think, let me stop sharing. So this is the contents of the catalog we already created, but we don't think that that work already stopped. Work will never stop, because we are finding sometimes accidentally, sometimes someone informs us another copy. So probably this work will continue, and that's all I want to talk today, and I'm open for questions.